Well, a very good evening to you from a chilly St James's Park, but a warm welcome to our coverage on NUFC TV of this FA Youth Cup fourth round tie between Newcastle United and AFC Bournemouth. This is Matthew Raisbeck from BBC Radio Newcastle, and we're delighted to be joined tonight by a member of the Newcastle United women's team. Charlotte Potts is with us. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Reza. You okay?
Very well. Just before we run through the two teams, with a couple of minutes to go until kick-off here at St James's, this is a fantastic opportunity, isn't it, for Newcastle and Bournemouth's academy players to compete in an important competition. It's such a brilliant venue. You've played here yourself. It's a really significant night in their young careers.
Absolutely. It's an incredible stadium. The pitch is beautiful, and you can't get any better. It's a Premier League ground. And
we can see already in the east stand on the far side of St James's Park, where the lower section is almost full, that there's probably around 1,000 supporters there, which is great support on an evening when it is bitterly cold, isn't it?
It's freezing indeed.
So the two teams are in the tunnel and will be with us any moment. We get going at 7 o'clock tonight, and it is a cup tie that must be decided and settled this evening. So if the scores are level at the end of the 90, then we will play another 30 minutes of extra time, and that could be followed by a penalty shootout. Let's have a look at the Newcastle United team. Firstly, this is the side that has been selected by the coach Graham Carrick, and Adam Harrison is in goal. Then at right back and captaining the team tonight, one of two twin brothers in the team and in the defence, Rory Powell. His twin Harry Powell is at centre half alongside Luke Craggs and Dylan Charlton at left back for Newcastle tonight. This is how we expect them to line up. In the middle of midfield, Scott Bailey and Travis Hearns, who is from Norway, and you may remember Newcastle signed him from Shrewsbury of League One in the summer, and he has senior experience in Football League competitions with Shrewsbury. Johnny Emerson and Trevin Sanusi probably in the wide positions, with Darren Palmer playing behind Sean Neve up front. So it's probably a 4-2-3-1, could be a 4-3-3 from Newcastle United this evening. Their opponents, AFC Bournemouth, line up like this. Mac Allen is in goal. Then a back four from right to left of Jack Holman, Harold William and Jay Williams, with the skipper Ollie Morgan playing at left back. The three men in midfield are Josh Salmon, Charlie Osborne and Carlos Gregory, with a front three of Ash Clark on the left side, Remy Rees-Dottin on the right, and up front, number 9 for Bournemouth, Johnny Stuttle. Well, here come the two teams. There's a lot of Geordies in the Newcastle squad, Charlotte, and you know what this moment's like when you walk out at St James's Park with local hero blasting out.
Absolutely, you get goosebumps down your spine walking out, and especially when you see the crowd and you just want to put on a performance for them.
And it's probably, for some of these players, a first experience of this kind of occasion on this stage. So what would you say if you were able to give them some advice about handling the opportunity to play at St James's Park at such a young age?
Yeah, well, it's occasions like this in a ground with an audience watching. It's going to naturally bring out the nerves, and you don't want to go into the game automatically on them nerves. You want to calm them, so you want to get some composure, find a couple of passes to start with, and as long as you group together and support each other, you can calm each other down.
Well, Newcastle reached this stage of the FA Youth Cup by walloping Leyton Orient in the last round, in round 3, by 7 goals to 2. Sean Neve, who's up front for United this evening, scored 2 of the goals in the last round, and that was a big win to set up this tie. Whoever is successful this evening will find themselves on their travels in the 5th round, because they will be away from home against either Spurs or Burton Albion. The match officials tonight, Helen Conley is the referee, and the 2 assistants, David Holmes and Paul Mosley, and pitchside, the 4th official will be Sam Ross. The pre-match photos have been taken. Now the 2 captains, Rory Powell for Newcastle and Ollie Morgan for Bournemouth, will contest the coin toss. Newcastle's players have gathered together in a huddle next to the centre circle. Bournemouth's are doing likewise, and the skippers will go and join them any second, and then we'll almost be ready to go. It's such a prestigious competition, the FA Youth Cup. I mean, you see the teams that normally get to the latter stages. They are the sides who have probably the most successful academies, but this is a great opportunity, isn't it, for young players, Charlotte, to showcase what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be playing against opponents who are the best in the country, and the further you climb through the stages, you're going to be playing against better players. You want to showcase yourself as a player to other clubs. I mean, these academy boys obviously have all got aspirations to make it as professional footballers, and it's about putting themselves in the window to make sure that opportunities come open for them if anything doesn't work out.
Have a quick look at the 2 benches. Newcastle's substitutes tonight: goalkeeper Adrian Janus, Leo Shahar, Logan Watts, Carter Milmore, Anthony Munda, Mateos Ferreira and Casey Worcester. And the Bournemouth bench is Tommy Whitehead, Noah Crisp, Ryan Carroll, Kashanga, Kasukumya, Ethan Sills, Johnny Day and Will Seeley. And we are underway at St James's Park in the FA Youth Cup 4th round. Thanks for joining us for the coverage live tonight on NUFC TV. It's a big clearance from Newcastle, with Bournemouth looking to get inside the opening minute. It is a night, Charlotte, we've mentioned it a few times, where you can see a few players have got gloves. Some have gone for the undershirt, the base layer, where you're going to want to run around, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks already like it's going to be a high energetic game, and you're going to see that. Well,
this is an early opportunity for Bournemouth, and they're in. And that is a goal inside 60 seconds for the visitors. A long ball forward, and the opportunity finished off by Ash Clark. He is a prolific goal scorer at academy level. He got 2 in the last round, and he now has a 15th of the season, and that is an electric opening from the away side. It's Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 1.
Yeah, you see in the Newcastle back line have to backtrack as fast as possible there to catch him up, and he slotted that perfectly in the bottom corner, but it actually came from the clearance, like you said. Clearance far, the back line pushed up really far, but they didn't anticipate that Bournemouth could come at them straight away. You've got to anticipate that. When you make a clearance that big, you have to assess what your team's doing as well as the opposition.
And that is, they'll have known already about the pace and the ability of Clark on the left side, but that is an early sign of it tonight for Newcastle, and it's a threat that they're going to have to try to contain, isn't it, now in the remainder of the match?
Absolutely. I mean, the Newcastle style is to press really high, but when you're in defence against a team that's pressing high, you have to always have that anticipation.
This is Sanusi for Newcastle. That's nice. Could get the shot off. Instead played back, and Hearns with the ball to Charlton. Travis Hearns again. It won't come for Sanusi, and it's brought away, and Bournemouth looking to hit Newcastle again down that far side. This is Josh Salmon. Morgan, the captain, playing it back. And Newcastle have at least got rid of the immediate danger. forcing the away side back to halfway. But here they come again. Clark just hanging on the shoulder of the last defender, but the ball doesn't go forwards. Away by Mac Allen. Dylan Charlton's header for Newcastle. Sanusi can't hold it. And that's good play by Bournemouth. Johnny Stuttle, and they're in again. And it's over the top. Josh Salmon, left-footed. It's a good opportunity for them to double their lead inside 4 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Newcastle were exposed there by a long ball and pace in behind through Bournemouth. They've got to really do better to anticipate that and read the game.
And after the goal was scored, Charlotte, we saw Newcastle for the first time with possession in the Bournemouth half. It came so early that they hadn't really had the opportunity to play or even attack. It is such a blow, isn't it, when you go behind at that point?
Yeah, and I mean, if you have the ball in the opposition's half, we had Bournemouth under pressure. You give the ball away, you don't give them an opportunity to enter your half again. You keep the pressure on in there and you regain it up in their half.
Trevin Sanusi. Ball had just a bit too much on it for Newcastle's number 10 there, Darren Palmer.
There's certainly going to be a lot of running tonight.
Charlton getting on with it quickly from the throw. Luke Craggs, who is one of a couple of 16-year-olds in the Newcastle team tonight, playing it along the back, and now they try to get forwards down the far right side. That's a good move, but an important tackle, edge of the area, and that's an illegal tackle.
That's a smart foul. I would have done the same.
Right under the nose of the referee, and no complaints. Darren Palmer for Newcastle United, looking to respond to that early setback. Craggs gets it back from Charlton. Travis Hearns. It's a good ball to Sanusi. He's got the option on the outside. Might take them on himself. He's got good feet. Finds Charlton up from full-back. Hearns floats it in. Just too high. And there were two in black and white in the middle. Johnny Emerson there coming in at the back post with the yellow boots. And Sean Neve just cleared his head. And Emerson was, Charlotte, I think, just a whisker away from connecting.
He seen that run, didn't he? He seen the gap in between their centre-half and full-back. And unfortunately, the timing didn't allow him to make a connection with the ball. Would have been a good time to equalise.
Newcastle trying to get hold of the ball and get their way back into this match, creating their first real opportunity. And the kick from goalkeeper Harrison was straight to a Bournemouth player, but they'll be glad to have it back on the edge of their penalty area. Trevin Sanusi. It's shoved off it. Neve tries to close down the goalkeeper's clearance. Cash turnstiles open tonight at St James's Park. There are a couple of late arrivals, but it is a healthy crowd, about 1,000 or so on the far side, but that's an increasing number because they're heading into the corner, and there's around 300 sitting below us in the Milburn stand in the hospitality areas, friends and family and officials from both clubs. Free kick Newcastle United, rolled back by Scott Bailey. And Luke Craggs with the ball over to Harry Powell. Sanusi wins a throw. They like to look for him, Charlotte. We've seen in the opening 10 minutes the ball out wide left. He's clearly got a lot of ability and trickery when the ball's at his feet.
A lot of pace on the ball, and you can see him trying to link up with Darren Palmer really well. Darren Palmer's just trying to movements off the ball, find the little pockets, very discreet. Bournemouth centre-halves are going to have a job with trying to find him. A bit like me with El Atoun on Sunday.
Here's a ball down this near side for Darren Palmer. And it was the right idea, just had a bit too much behind it. The forward run coming from Charlton from fullback.
Charlton.
You made reference to it there, Charlotte, but you were part of the Newcastle United women's side that played Manchester United in the FA Cup at the weekend. We'll talk more to you about it later, but although you didn't get the result you wanted, it was, I imagine, still a great occasion and a brilliant experience for you on reflection.
Absolutely, a bit like this, an FA Cup in front of a crowd. The Geordies were extremely loud, made their voices heard for sure.
Well, the clearance from Bournemouth probably wasn't what they intended. Delayed slightly, didn't they?
It's moments like that where you can use this venue, the crowd, to your advantage. You're pressing a goalkeeper, a very young one who might not be as composed and relaxed. It's going to rattle him. He's going to make mistakes if you do that.
The tricky Trevon Sanusi has won a free kick, and this is an opportunity to stick the ball in the box. Johnny Emerson, the Scottish under-18 international, has come from right to left to deliver it. And they could have a left-footed option as well, but it's Emerson who sends it in. It's a good ball, and Hearns with a header. Can they make something of it still? It's going to be a goal kick, but that caused problems at the back for Bournemouth. The curling free kick, keeper came out for it, didn't get there.
Yeah, he got up for it and met it. He just couldn't get over it enough to direct it into the bottom right-hand corner.
So it remains Newcastle 0, Bournemouth 1, with the goal after 55 seconds from Ash Clark. But the response has been pretty good, hasn't it, in terms of the ball that they've had and then the opportunity to put it in the box there. They've got to deal with the situation here, and Harrison does, and Sanusi will chase after that, but I suspect the flag might go up if he gets on the end of the ball. There'll be a Newcastle throw on the near side as well.
They've certainly gained control of the game. However, possession doesn't reflect the score lines, and it's a goal that we actually need to change the game, so let's hope it can come.
They're trying to get on the end of that ball on the far side, Newcastle, and they keep it alive. Emerson, the cross headed away. It was good work by Rory Powell initially, and now they've got to watch because that's rolled the wrong side of the defender, but Adam Harrison quick off the mark again in the United goal. You may remember in the AC Milan match, the final Champions League group game for the senior team, he was named on the substitutes bench because academy players are eligible, and he was one of a couple of goalkeepers involved in the match day squad, which would have been a great experience for him. It's an enterprising run from Charlie Osborne, but it ends with the ball going out of play.
I think Harry Powell had a bit of a lesson learned after conceding the first goal. He's starting to ensure that he's reading the game really sharply now, and their number 10, Ashley Clark, is quite pacey. He's got his eye on him.
Yeah. Well, as a central defender yourself, you'll probably enjoy that sort of battle and keep an eye on it for us tactically. Bournemouth trying to get forwards down the right-hand side. Newcastle almost in a bit of trouble there with the clearance from Harry Powell, but fortunately it rebounded towards another black and white shirt. Travis Hearns with the ping, but Sanusi won't reach that.
Yeah, they're just regaining their composure now. There's a lot of heavy breathing going on. How cold it is, you can see the breaths.
Well, there's going to be the high press from Newcastle here with the goal kick. The keeper could go short with it. Newcastle have committed, as we can see, the 3 on the edge of the box, but that's one way to beat the press, isn't it? Just go long. And
absolutely.
they did that. Some teams pass their way out of it, others just bypass it completely with a ball upfield.
A goal's a goal, Razor. And that's what the fans love to shout at.
Throw taken by Dylan Charlton, the Gateshead-born 17-year-old at left-back for Newcastle tonight.
He actually went to the same school as me, Dylan Charlton.
It's obviously an establishment known for producing football talent. Any others come through that school that you know of?
No, there was a school up the road. I think there's a player came from Cardinal Hume. Not sure which one that was. Good to see a lot of Gateshead lads.
Harry Powell down the line. Emerson takes it inside and then has it taken off him. Has the chance to run now, Johnny Emerson for Newcastle. Threading it through, but again, just a bit too much power on the ball.
Just a little bit more composure and choosing moments is needed.
Oh, once again, they go long with it. And the free kick has gone to Bournemouth rather than Newcastle. There's definitely a bit of pulling and holding there.
I think from both ends. The centre-halves have both got their hands full.
Header from Craggs for Newcastle. This is the goal scorer, playing it inside. It's a good ball and a really important clearance, because that could have been 2-0. Sanusi on the spin. And on the receiving end of a fairly hefty challenge.
I was going to say Harry Powell read that really well, but it's his twin brother, isn't it? Rory Powell.
Just covering, coming in, having tucked in, and had to be there. Now Hearns with a burst down the right side. Charlton on to Sanusi. Oh, he's sold the defender the dummy, and it just wouldn't land quite where Hearns wanted it. Couldn't get the touch to bring the ball under control. But we've seen and in the last 60 seconds, Charlotte, a good example of Trevin Sanusi, the ability that he has, the trickery that he has, winning the free kick after wriggling free from a pretty tight spot, and once again they're on the edge of the area.
Absolutely, he's got a lot of skill. Is this the player who came from Shrewsbury?
No, that's Travis Hearns in midfield, but both relatively new recruits to the Newcastle Academy. Here is Hearns on it now.
Yeah, it's extremely valuable when you bring in people who've got different experiences and you can see the game in a different light and share perspectives.
Bournemouth, who lead through that early goal, wanted a free kick there, didn't get it. It's a Newcastle throw. Won by Emerson, taken by Rory Powell. And in the centre circle, Luke Craggs. Sanusi trying to do his stuff again. Clark beaten to the ball. Very nearly won it back. A little bit of bite out there in the last minute or two.
There is. It definitely has a cup feel. I'm sure the crowd would love to see some big tackles.
Now the clearance there from Jay Williams, the Bournemouth centre-back, went out of a Newcastle player, so it's a throw for the away side. There's no ball boy or ball girl on this side of St James's Park, so a steward in a high-vis jacket has been sent to retrieve it, but another one has arrived in the meantime from the bench. Now this could give Newcastle an opportunity. Neve looking for Emerson, and then one back, and here's Johnny Emerson again. Goalkeeper just prevented the corner. Mac Allen out of his goal, but on the line. Remy Rees-Dottin couldn't find space for the shot.
Excellent recovery runs.
And Sanusi, Newcastle signed from Birmingham in the summer. Here he goes, away again. It's more exciting stuff. He goes inside, then outside, and he's exciting the crowd tonight.
He nearly went the whole way himself.
You feel he's going to have a big part to play in the rest of this cup tie.
Yeah, he's definitely a strength that we need to utilise.
Good little return ball there to Charlton. And then Bailey to Sanusi.
There's some quite strong link-ups down the left side of the field. Dylan Charlton really works well with Sanusi.
Yeah, it's been down this near side, isn't it, Charlotte, where Newcastle have had, I suppose, most of their joy, if you can call it that. I mean, I don't think they've really been in behind, but with Sanusi's trickery and running and Charlton's willingness to get forwards.
Yeah. And then I think it helps that Darren Palmer's finding the pockets to distract the centre-halves and the full-backs to allow them to do the job.
Bournemouth scored inside the first minute. Ball played in behind, and Ash Clark, left side of the penalty area, finished low underneath Newcastle goalkeeper Adam Harrison. But the game overall, Charlotte passed the midway point in the first half now. How would you assess what you've seen? I'll come back to you for that, because Newcastle could be on the break here with number 9 Sean Neve forcing his way beyond the defence into the penalty area and almost bending one inside the far post.
Well, we've had the most chances. We've seen more of the ball. However, Bournemouth do look rather clinical when they do regain it, and we have to be really mindful of that for that transition. And I was just assessing the physicality of the lads out there. I know it's hard to see from up here, but Bournemouth look like quite a big, strong team, and we I believe have a lot of pace. We need to utilise that pace to try and get something out of this game.
So a goal down in the 25th minute, but I think that would go down as their best opportunity. The effort from Neve, that was a great run. Got a couple of goals in the last round and almost had one tonight there. He was just slightly off target with the right-footed shot that he was just trying to guide inside the far post.
Absolutely.
Sanusi, live wire. They've stopped him this time. And no one on the end of that for Bournemouth. There's a willing runner there for Newcastle, Darren Palmer. And couldn't get a corner out of it, but didn't give it up. There's a bit of frost on top of the pitch, but they've had the heating on underneath, as you'd expect, so no problems with the surface. I don't think anything had been done to it since full time on Saturday night after Newcastle played Manchester City in the Premier League, when the ground staff got to work, and then I think it was just left for a couple of days.
I'm sure the frost will give it a nice zip.
One thing as well, you may be able to notice it on the pictures, and if you're not familiar with St James's Park, this might be new to you, but it is on a hill, it's on a slope, the pitch, so as Bournemouth, who are kicking towards the Gallagher end towards the right, they're going downhill in the first half, and when the ball's in the far corner, you can see with the advertising boards, and you've played on this pitch, Charlotte, so you can tell us just how tough it is going uphill and how advantageous it is to go downhill second half. You do realise it when you're out there, don't you?
Absolutely, you can feel the slight dip, especially when you're defending in this half. You certainly feel like you've got that advantage when you're going towards it. You can afford to press that a little bit higher and feel like they're not going to come at you as quick.
Trevin Sanusi winning another free kick. He has been Newcastle's brightest in this first half. And the set piece to be sent in by Johnny Emerson.
You can certainly see the height difference when they're setting up here for the free kick.
Well, headed into the hands of the goalkeeper by Travis Hearns. Newcastle won both headers there, but Mac Allen not tested. They've got it straight back through Emerson, and now Palmer overhit towards Sanusi.
It's one of them. It's coming to the end of the half. You're 1-0 down. You've seen most of the ball. You try not to let the frustrations get the better of you, and just stay composed and have that little bit of faith and belief that the goal will come before the half. It can sometimes become a little bit overwhelming, and yeah, you'll see the players' mindsets if they're going to be patient or not.
Scott Bailey for Newcastle, a 17-year-old from Durham, in the middle of midfield. It's a good first touch from Palmer, and the ball to Bailey, but Neve went the other way. And a tactical foul there by Newcastle, near to halfway, and Helen Conley acknowledging the challenge and probably just a warning to Darren Palmer for no more.
Yeah, this is your opportunity. Now you want to get up and now you want to press. The momentum's with you.
It's a good win in the air from the captain, Rory Powell.
Bournemouth just getting set here. Something that you don't really want to do. You don't want to let them get set. You want to keep the momentum going. We're coming towards the end of the half. The momentum's just been with us.
That's a good ball over the top. Johnny Emerson is in. The flag stays down, looking for Neve in the middle, and the goalkeeper had to be sharp there to push it away. It's a good break by Newcastle. They were slow in the build-up, Charlotte, but then one quick ball over the top changed everything.
Absolutely, that can also work to your advantage.
Well, this could be trouble, and it's a second goal for Bournemouth out of absolutely nothing. Johnny Stuttle has rifled it in at the Gallagher end, and just when Newcastle were on top in the game and close to equalising, long ball forward caused problems in the defence, and Bournemouth have doubled their advantage.
They're the problems that you face when you don't actually read the momentum of the game, though. We've been attacking on the front foot, and then you allow Bournemouth to get set defensively. They're ready for the transition. They were ready for it. We talked about that change of pace. Yeah, we slowed it down. You can slow it down to catch them off guard, but we didn't actually catch them off guard. We went to penetrate them while they're fully concentrated, and they've used that for the transition, which has unfortunately created a goal-scoring opportunity.
So they've got to come back from a 2-goal deficit after 31 minutes. And that will hurt the Newcastle players after a good response to going behind inside 60 seconds. And a comeback is required if they are to continue in the FA Youth Cup. It's a very good strike, though, wasn't it? Really well taken, left-footed from Stuttle from 18 yards.
It was indeed, and both centre-halves matched 2v2. You've got to be really disciplined in that sense. It's going to be interesting now to see how Bournemouth manage the game moving forward and how Newcastle decide to attack. Do they go with a plan B? Do they stick to the same plan that they're currently using?
Well, the coaches Graham Carrick and Chris Moore are watching from the technical area. Both on their feet, observing as their players look for a way back into this cup tie. It's aimed up towards Neve.
Ideally want to steal one back before the half time and can give the players a little bit of breathing space to know that they only have to get one more goal for the equaliser.
Sanusi trying to force the defender into a mistake, but Jack Holman there, the Bournemouth number 2, dealt with it well. Newcastle got to be careful here as Bournemouth seek out a third goal. Oh, and the glancing header from Stuttle, who's just scored. He could have had another one there. I'm not sure how much of a connection there was with the ball, but it was clipped in towards him. He made the run unchecked and didn't go past the post by too much.
Not at all, and no, like you say, nobody tracked him. You've got to learn your lessons very fast, and knowing that he had just scored and he's on form, you've got to keep a close eye on him.
That's the Newcastle perspective from the Bournemouth angle, Charlotte. They will be absolutely delighted, won't they? They scored early. They hadn't seen a lot of the ball after the opening goal. They did miss a chance pretty soon afterwards. And then a long ball forwards when Newcastle are attacking. They turn it over and get themselves a second. It's almost the perfect kind of away situation, isn't it?
Absolutely, like you say, possession doesn't score your goals. You can be defending, you can be out of possession, but you can still be in control of the game.
Craggs goes along towards Neve in the area, headed down by Williams. It's a good burst from midfield. Charlie Osborne. And a clear push in the back of Johnny Emerson. Good tracking back. Foot race between Emerson and Ollie Morgan.
The Bournemouth forwards are certainly stretching our defence. Can we do the same? That's the question.
Bailey's ball too high for Hearns. Rory Powell on a run. He's still got it. Oh, it's a great run. They're forcing him out wide towards the corner. It took 3 to stop him, and also required the referee to intervene. But that was brilliant forward play from fullback.
Yeah, he's won a free kick, and probably that's the best scenario in that situation. He's got 3 defenders on him. He hasn't got very many runners to distract them. Gives us a chance to get up and get bodies in the box and get a bit of breathing space as well, because it's coming towards the end of the half. You can see through the fatigue that players aren't making them runs just because it's coming to the end of the half.
Emerson runs over it. Charlton delivers. Keeper's off his line.
It was an excellent delivery.
Well, didn't take a touch off anybody. Bournemouth defender at the back post got close to it, ducked out of the way, and then it was Harry Powell, the nearest to it in black and white. Nice turn by Scott Bailey. Rory Powell with the low ball in.
Wonder if he's related to Owen Bailey.
That former Newcastle Academy player you're referring to there, now at Doncaster in League 2. This is Sanusi. Well, a corner gives them another opportunity to get one back before the break. And he's a player that they want to get in the game as much as they possibly can.
You've got to make the most out of these set pieces, especially at a situation like this. 2-0 down, going into the second half.
It was driven by Emerson and away by Bournemouth. Out of play from Charlton's pass towards Sanusi. Got the opportunity to run here. They've defended it well through Holman. Bouncing ball which Clark heads down, and Salmon for Bournemouth.
Excellent block by Rory Powell.
Clark wins the free kick. There was no room, no space for him to get a shot away, and the challenge came in. And what a position this is for a set piece.
Great opportunity for Bournemouth.
They're queuing up there. They'd probably all fancy a crack, wouldn't they, from this sort of range?
I'm sure it's a lesson for the player who committed the foul. One of them where you're around your own box, you've just got to stand.
Oh, what a strike. What a hit. And Newcastle United are facing an exit from the FA Youth Cup. That is a brilliant free kick driven in by Jack Holman for AFC Bournemouth. So much power and venom in the shot. And Adam Harrison in the Newcastle goal, absolutely no chance. 41st minute, Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 3.
That's a real sucker punch.
$2-0 at half-time is manageable.
Yeah.
3-0 is, well, a bigger problem.
It's a real test of characters now, yeah? You can see how players respond to this, who can face the challenge, if they still have that belief. Has anybody give up? What are they playing for now? Because there's still plenty to play for.
It's not impossible to come back from this position. And in between the two boxes, they've played well enough, haven't they? But Bournemouth have had the big moments.
Absolutely, and you know, like, as a club, one of our core values is pride. You've got to play for a bit of pride about yourself now. I mentioned earlier they're playing in the FA Youth Cup. A lot of them aspiring to be professional footballers. This is an opportunity for them to showcase themselves, regardless if they're losing 3-0 or not.
And we've got Charlotte Potts from Newcastle United Women with us as part of our coverage on NUFC TV tonight. An FA Youth Cup tie that could be about to get worse for Newcastle. Rhys Dottin into the area. And they get rid of the danger. And Hearn's being pulled back.
You're likely to see Bournemouth manage a game like that throughout the second half.
Emerson's on his bike down the right wing. It's a good run, and they try to find him with the pass. It's well read by Harold William. Zanussi on for Charlton, an option inside. Palmer couldn't hold it. Oh, that's really tidy play from Neve, and he's unlucky. Bournemouth seeing out the first half. It won't be too long before we get sight of the fourth official with the numbers board, where they could be in for a fourth here, and the goalkeeper comes out and makes a challenge which results in a penalty for Bournemouth, and not too many complaints from Adam Harrison as Remy Rees-Stottin ran through to goal, taken down by the United keeper, and Bournemouth have a chance to extend their lead just before the break.
Not much the goalkeeper could do there, really, could he?
Yeah, we saw there on the replay that I think the forward's expecting him to come out. The goalkeeper has to come.
Yeah.
A collision.
Maybe a little bit braver and just go towards the ball.
It has not been a great first half in the way that matters in terms of the score, but Adam Harrison could end it on a positive, but it's rolled into the bottom corner by Johnny Stuttle, sending the United keeper the wrong way, and it's Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 4. Having conceded the penalty, Harrison can't save it, and those in black and white, Charlotte, will just want half-time now.
I can imagine so, yeah. Just reflecting on a lot of the goals though, even this one there where they've been awarded a penalty came from Remy Rees-Stottin, which was a lot of pace in behind. The first goal was Newcastle had a high line, the pace in behind. Newcastle were pressing really high. You've got to anticipate pace and you've got to drop. If you know you're not going to catch the striker and they're going to outpace you, you've got to drop. You've got to give yourself a couple of yards, and you've got to switch your mind on, and you've got to read it a lot more sharper than them.
Chance maybe to get one back before half-time. Palmer into the box. And the tackle comes in.
Plenty of lessons out there today for the players.
We're into the second of 3 minutes of additional time, as we can see on our screen there. Oh, that's a good ball in behind from Charlton to Palmer. Zanussi stayed on his feet as the tackle came in. That's a lovely turn, but a fair challenge. And they stop the counter-attack. And good recovery from Zanussi, having been challenged initially. And his action there led to Newcastle winning a throw. Harrison, who's been beaten 4 times already tonight, playing it forwards. All eyes on the referee now as we reached the end of the additional period. Newcastle look for Emerson, and Hearns challenges on the far side. It's kept in by Emerson, but only for Bournemouth. Hearns wins it back.
Bournemouth sitting extremely compact and anticipating the ball all the time. It's Newcastle have got to do better to try and draw their eyes. Can you have third man runs? Can you have people in the pockets on shoulders? All of Bournemouth defenders can see every single Newcastle player.
Harry Powell across to brother Rory, and that's the last piece of play in what has been a really tough half for Newcastle. Bournemouth brilliant, clinical in front of goal, and we'll get the players in, Charlotte, during the break and try to find some way to respond in the second half.
Yeah, I think they need a little bit of life sparked into them. The occasion like this, remind them that it's a cup game at Newcastle United, at St James's Park. They're playing in front of their home fans. They want to entertain the fans. Let's make that happen on the pitch. Can we have lots of runs? We need passion, we need energy. Unfortunately, we've been lacking that in this half.
Ash Clark scored inside the first minute. Johnny Stuttle has scored 2, including 1 from the penalty spot, and Jack Holman rifled in a free kick. It means in the FA Youth Cup 4th round here at St James's Park, with coverage of the second half to come at the break. Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 4. Well, good evening again from St James's Park. We've had 45 minutes in this FA Youth Cup fourth round tie, and it's Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 4. There will be a couple of changes in black and white before the second half gets underway. We've got the two teams out there. We don't yet have the set of officials on the pitch, so they can't process the substitutions, but we can see there Newcastle's number 16 and 14. To the left, 16, Anthony Munda, who scored in the last round against Leyton Orient, and 14 is Logan Watts. They are ready to come on, and then we'll have a full check of the Newcastle team. The Bournemouth side is still the same, which is Mac Allen in goal, Jack Holman, Harold William, Jay Williams and Ollie Morgan. At the back, midfield three of Carlos Gregory, Charlie Osborne and Josh Salmon. Remy Rees-Dottin, Johnny Stuttle and Ash Clark are the front three for the away team. The lads who are going to come on will be introduced, we would expect, in just a moment, not least because Newcastle don't have the full complement of 11 out there. So the changes then. Luke Craggs is coming off. He was playing left centre-back in the first half, replaced by Logan Watts. And Anthony Munda comes on for Darren Palmer, who was playing off the striker, sort of in the number 10 position. So that means Newcastle United, Adam Harrison the goalkeeper, Rory Powell, Harry Powell, and now Logan Watts, Dylan Charlton at left back.
Change of shape maybe, or?
It's possible. We'll let it settle down.
I mean, there's nothing to lose, is there? So
yeah, it could be tactical as well as straight personnel changes. Scott Bailey and Travis Hearns, Anthony Munda, Johnny Emerson, Trevin Sanusi and Sean Neve. Those are the 11 out there in the black and white stripes, black shorts and white socks. The goalkeeper in his luminous yellow away to our left. He's on it now. Harrison well outside of his area, trying Charlotte Potts from Newcastle United Women to somehow find a way back into this FA Youth Cup tie, but they would have to score 4 unanswered goals to take it to extra time. It's a big ask.
I mean, Bournemouth scored 4, so optimistic.
But they have to believe, don't they? And
Absolutely.
I'm sure that'll be in the message.
And not just one player has to believe, they all have to believe collectively.
The substitutes who are yet to come on for Newcastle: Adrian Janus, the goalkeeper, Leo Shahar, Carter Milmore, Mateus Ferreira and Casey Worcester. And Bournemouth's bench: Tommy Whitehead, Noah Crisp, Ryan Carroll, Kashanga, Kasukumia, Ethan Sills, Johnny Day, Will Seeley. And with having changed ends at half-time, Newcastle are shooting downhill as well. So in terms of the scoreline, it might be seen as an uphill task, but quite literally, physically, it's downhill in the second half. Maybe that can be used to their advantage, as we were discussing Charlotte in the first half. It's what Newcastle like to do, downhill in the second half, for obvious reasons.
They're definitely pushing Bournemouth downhill. They're not quite dislodging them yet. Very compact. Penalty shouts.
A great run by Sanusi, which might have ended in a free kick or possibly a penalty, but Helen Conley, the referee, said no, and throw in only. It'd be interesting to see that back, whether there was any contact, because it was another brilliant, tricky run from a player who you can see loves to take on defenders. And he's on it again. It's back to Munda, the substitute. Emerson, support on the outside, goes for the cross, and Sanusi threw himself at it. And now here come Bournemouth. Munda slides in, can't make the challenge, and they've gone to try and beat Harrison with a lob from a long way out, and, well, a decent effort from Bournemouth. But let's have a look, Charlotte, at this run from Sanusi and whether there was a foul or not. Charlie Osborne, the Bournemouth number 8.
It looked like a foul to me, and he was falling into the box.
Gets a free kick this time. Jack Holman being spoken to.
He's certainly drawn a lot of Bournemouth defenders towards him. Can he use that to his advantage to maybe slip someone else through? I know he's trying to drive through himself.
Well, no one able to get on the end of his cross there. And pinched back by Ash Clark. And here go Bournemouth. Stuttle played in. He's on his hat-trick. He's got it. Well, it's a cruel game sometimes, and Newcastle's under-18s are really feeling that tonight as they push for a goal back at the start of the second half. Bournemouth have again hit them on the break and rolled in by Johnny Stuttle. He got 2 in the first half. He's completed his treble here with that low left-footed finish.
That is actually harder than it looks. He has timed that run to perfection to ensure that he's onside, and the angle that he slotted it in the net. Fantastic performance by Johnny Stuttle tonight. You've got to give credit where credit's due, and that is just clinical.
Newcastle United 0, AFC Bournemouth 5 after 50 minutes. And what a night this is for their academy. Made the long trip, and it's an emphatic look to the scoreline.
You know, they've came with a game plan. They've defended collectively, high concentration, well organised. You've got Carlos Gregory in the holding mid role there, dictating where he wants the rest of his midfielders to be. He's screening the strikers, and then they're regaining it, and they're going forward with a real clinicalness about them.
Travis Hearns down in the box, nothing given, and there weren't too many appeals. A few groans from home supporters on the far side, but not much from those who were near it on the pitch. Sanusi again. He's got millimetres to work in on that touchline. He uses the ball. It's like it's glued to his foot at times. Charlton with the floated cross. Emerson glanced off the top of his head. And out for a Bournemouth throw. And they're going to make another substitution, Newcastle, in a moment. And another young player is going to get their opportunity to come on. And they've got it at the back through Harry Powell to the half-time substitute Logan Watts. And Dylan Charlton might go into the book for that tackle. And he is the first player to be cautioned this evening, and I don't think the referee had any other option there, Charlotte.
Not at all. I think that was due to his own frustrations from his misplaced pass. Newcastle, we're trying a lot of things. We're trying to do things right, and unfortunately they're not paying off, and it is getting to our heads sometimes. It's impacting our reactions. They're losing their heads.
Substitution by Newcastle United, number 2, Rory Powell, replaced by number 12, Leo.
Well, the change sees the captain tonight, Rory Powell, replaced, and on for Powell is Leo Shaha. Charlie Osborne for Bournemouth in the corner on the far side. Shaha, who's just come on, by the way, 16 years of age, and he joined Newcastle over the summer from the Wolves Academy, and has international experience with England's under-17s.
Which shows also he's telling his winger he wanted him higher.
Emerson to Shaha, his first involvement since coming on. Referee allowing play to continue. Munda back to Watts. Emerson heads for the line. And back with Watts. And Charlton, that's a good turn of pace. Emerson coming into it now. Oh, great ball sent in. Really well defended in the middle by Bournemouth. And we've seen what they can do on the counter-attack. And they've got another one here. Clark, who got them started with that very early goal. Rhys Dottin, denied by the offside flag, sticks it in anyway. And Newcastle will be very pleased to see the flag go up from David Holmes on the far side.
I think Leo Shahar's done excellent since he's came on. He's gave the energy that that's needed to the rest of his teammates. Of course, 5-0, you're going to feel very deflated.
Sanusi with a spin, and well, sometimes that's the only way to stop him, by knocking him to the floor. Munda trying to lift it in behind. Bailey back to Sanusi. They can keep the pressure on from this throw. A good turn and run from Neve. But the ball had clearly gone behind. As a player, Charlotte Potts, in this situation, what are the key things now in terms of mentality? Because the 5-0 down at home. There's more than half an hour to play, and they've got to get through the rest of the match and I suppose at least stop it from getting worse, the scoreline.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to get the most out of the game for your own individual development, and collectively, if you're performing, and I suppose it might turn into a bit of a training game now, because realistically, you're not going to score 5 goals in less than half an hour. Can you try and do things right still? Can you try and do things to help each other? And I suppose if you get 1 goal back, it gives you a little bit more positivity to start doing things correct, because things don't work, you start to play through frustration. You don't want to play through frustration.
We'll try and make something from this corner that they played back into midfield. It's a nice move that led to the corner kick. Sanusi's ball for the run from midfield from Scott Bailey.
When I say keep doing things right, I mean realistically. Players then start to think they can be the superhero and running from centre half to centre forward, and it's, can you still do things properly? Can you still get something from the game by doing things properly?
Munda, we've seen quite a bit of it since coming on at half-time. Emerson into Hearns, back again. Powell. And now Watts. Munda's ball finds Emerson for Newcastle. Shaha made the forward run. Well, they defend it well again.
You know, we just need to be that little bit more patient. We're drawing Bournemouth's eyes down one side of the pitch. Everyone's get drawn across. We're actually coming over with them. We need to stay expansive, stay wide. Can you get them looking in both directions, left and right? Can we switch it back round to the left? Can we draw our eyes that way, then quickly exploit the right? We're making it extremely easy for Bournemouth to defend. We're not creating gaps to exploit through.
Munda in a bit of a battle here, and he's come out on top and played it well. Sanusi helping it on to Bailey. And now Charlton involved. Every Bournemouth player behind the ball. Hearns makes the run, and a good pass to find him.
It was like threading a needle. Now you be patient.
Well, 4-0 at half-time, just the 1 goal in the second half. Bournemouth adding to their already comfortable lead. Newcastle, don't think they forced the goalkeeper into a save tonight, have they, so far, which will be a disappointment.
They haven't, no. He has a lot of protection in front of him. We need to be a lot smarter with the way we're moving the ball. We're moving the ball based on what we're seeing of our own teammates. Newcastle need to wait for Bournemouth to need to draw them out and choose the perfect time to slot it past them. A little bit like Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier does it exceptionally well. He times it perfectly. He draws them in, then he finds the gap. We're not actually waiting for Bournemouth to move before we're passing. We're passing based on our own teammates' movement.
This is a ball towards Travis Hearns, and Newcastle could create something from this. Emerson, slightly off balance when it came to him. It might have gone behind off his heel, actually. And that was a shame, because they had the Bournemouth defenders facing their own goal.
It's just them tiny details, isn't it? He's had to stumble before he's went into the shot.
And we have Charlotte Potts from Newcastle United women's team as part of our NUFC TV coverage tonight. This FA Youth Cup tie, it's Spurs or Burton away in the next round, and unless we get something extraordinary, it's going to be Bournemouth who'll be on their travels again. If there's anyone capable of something extraordinary, I feel it's Sanusi, and more good play down the left wing. Fortunately for Newcastle, doesn't lead to anything. And Ash Clark now for the away side, who are yet to make a change. Newcastle have made 3 substitutions already. 25 minutes remaining.
You know, you think about the occasion. Have Bournemouth actually had the upper hand going into this game because they've not really felt the occasion? They don't know what it means to play at St James's Park. This is probably a lot of these boys' dreams, to play on this pitch from a young age, and that's probably added emotion to the occasion, and emotion can impact your performance either positively or negatively. But if it's going to affect it positively, it takes a lot of self-control.
Neve getting involved, and then Sanusi, here's his chance. It's a good strike, and pushed away by the goalkeeper Allen, and behind. That is his first save of the night, and Trevin Sanusi, who's been Newcastle's most exciting player, almost got them a goal back there.
You did say that it would likely be Trevin Sanusi who was going to make something happen, and that was really unfortunate that didn't happen for him, because he's played a fantastic game. An individual performance from him.
Emerson swings it in. Well, it's going to stay in play. It's just too high for those in the middle. Emerson, did that one stay in? No, it didn't. The assistant on the near side, Paul Mosley's got his flag up.
Very close.
Now the linesman had the best view of it. Clark inside for Bournemouth, who are not content with 5. They clearly fancy another. Morgan, what a dangerous ball in. Harrison got down to beat it away, and then over the top, when probably ought to have done a little bit better. That's a big chance for Bournemouth to get a 6th.
They were really looking for another goal too. What was it, 4 runners on the break? 5?
Remy Rees-Stoughton, who won the penalty at the end of the first half, could have added his name to the score sheet there. Bailey for United. He's found space for the cross. In it comes. That was chest from the defender. Harry Powell with a couple of good challenges. Hearns quite clearly being yanked back. Bailey to Sanusi. He's always got a trick ready, hasn't he? Well, Bailey's cross behind.
You know,
his man.
you're looking at how many numbers we're getting in the box. We had 2 in the box there. You look at Bournemouth's counter before, they had 5 running forward. It just goes to show what momentum can do for you, and you win a game 5-0. It gives you that desire to want more.
Well, they almost got a piece of it in the middle. It was Logan Watts, the half-time substitute, who's he's not 17 until next week. Watts, who went to Monk Seton High School. The bounce of the ball just seemed to deceive him. This is good from Bailey. Lovely turn. Hearns. Emerson free. He's beaten his man a couple of times. It's another corner.
Quite interesting there. The ball rolled out of him, and that cross was actually on first time. And funny enough, we've just discussed this, reflecting on our game against Manchester United. We tend to find that when Manchester United were putting their crosses in, they were coming in first time. And as a defender, it gives you less chance to get set and get marked up and actually defend the cross. That was actually on to go first time.
Shaha with a good delivery to the back post, and well, the keeper makes what in the end is probably a routine save, but the ball had Bournemouth worried for a moment, and it's Logan Watts again involved, hitting the target at least this time. What do you make of the second half, Charlotte, as a whole? Obviously Bournemouth have added to their lead and scored their 5th goal, but in the way that Newcastle have played and dealt with the situation with this huge deficit.
Yeah, they've looked to be very positive. We've obviously played into their half. We're trying the right things, trying it, but maybe a little bit of overthinking. We need a little bit more desire to just think, let's be clinical and let's be ruthless and really attack.
Munda on to Neve, who will have a go, and it's wide from about 20 yards. He had that good chance in the first half that he set up for himself with a pacey run to get the better of the defender. Dragged his shot wide, and those are his only opportunities tonight, really, as Bournemouth make a substitution. Coming on is Ryan Carroll. They're wearing number 14.
We've certainly managed the second half a lot better than the first. The first half, there was a lot of transitions going on at either end of the pitch. It makes you think, is that the nerves? Is that because of the occasion? Like I said earlier about emotion, have players come to terms with how they're feeling? Settled into the game a little bit?
A confirmation that the player taken off by Bournemouth was Josh Salmon, the number 7. That's their first switch of the night, as they edge closer to their place in the 5th round. And Neve has dropped off and laid it off.
Good reaction to win it back. We've certainly got the momentum and flow with us now.
At Hearns, the Norwegian. He did well there. A couple of defenders on him. There's a good run over to that side of the attack. And yet another Newcastle set piece in this second half. They'll hope to get at least one back.
Yeah, you can see the players are having a little bit of belief to get one back now. They're more positive, they're getting up into the box.
Charlton with the ball in, Watts rises. Hearns with a couple of headers.
Let's hope they have a bit of balance, because that can easily change, as we've seen 5 times.
Shahar's done well to release Sanusi. Oh. Well.
Excellent first touch. Did he really need to do that next part, though?
Had that come off, it would have been quite something.
Yes, it certainly would have looked good. You can tell I'm a defender, can't you? Stick to the basics.
Up from the back from a Bournemouth point of view, Ollie Morgan stopped by a couple of challenges. He must have played against a few wide players and forwards with footwork like that.
Katie Barker, for example.
One of your teammates.
Yeah.
Concentration the key then as the defender in that situation, especially when there's the unpredictability about it. How would
concentration for sure, but I think get in the head. Couple of fouls.
Bit of chat. Or do you not speak to your opponents?
It depends who it is. You can see the ones who are actually focused and stay in their own lane, or you can see the ones who become a little bit distracted. Then you can afford to give that a bit of chat. Yeah, talk about that concentration though in that 1v1 defending. I actually box for fitness alongside football sometimes, especially in the pre-season, and stuff like that really helps. I mean, like when you're observing body shape, the way that people think.
Oh, this is Hearns with good feet, but stopped by
excellent defender.
A brilliant challenge. Got to get it right. He read in that position.
Exactly what I was about to say. He read the intention, and it's all about reading the intention of the attacker.
Emerson takes a touch. He's got 2 defenders with him. Seen a bit more of Hearns as the second half has gone on. It's a misplaced pass looking for Munda and Clark on his way. He's teed it up for a colleague and over the top from Johnny Stuttle, who hasn't really missed much tonight, but just too high with that attempt. He could have had his 4th.
Yeah, Remy restarting. He cut inside of Harry Powell there. Unfortunately, fortunately for Harry Powell, he stood him up well for his teammates to get back and recover. That was actually really good defending. Previously, for other goals, midfielders haven't been able to get back in time.
Sanusi chasing, and well, good defending at the other end there from Jack Holman, one of Bournemouth's goal scorers tonight. Last touch off the Newcastle winger. Had a good crowd in here tonight, Charlotte. There are some empty seats that have emerged over on the far side of St James's in the East Stand, but quite a few have stayed to support the young players tonight, which I'm sure will be appreciated given how tough it's been.
Absolutely. I mean, you learn as you play football, you play for the fans. There's a lot of people leave, especially when you win, with smiling faces, knowing that you're making people's days, knowing that you're inspiring people. It's entertainment, and footballers were there to perform for people.
Corner with Remy Rees-Dottin making the run. Might have had a whiff of offside about it initially, but no flag from David Holmes on the far side of the pitch. Carlos Gregory has the responsibility of delivering the corner, and it's right under the crossbar. What a header away.
Excellent header.
Logan Watts got big for Newcastle and stopped what was possibly a 6th goal. That might have been going all the way in.
Goal line clearance.
We'll take a look at it again here through the replay. The spin on that ball. You don't see too many goals direct from a corner, but players can do it.
Absolutely.
It's played in between defenders there for Emerson's run. Mac Allen sweeping up in the Bournemouth goal. And with just over 10 minutes to play, it's the South Coast side who are with near certainty heading to the 5th round.
Excellent composure from Carlos Gregory there. He's played an outstanding game, both defensively and on the ball. He's got forward when he's needed to. I think he's caused real problems for Newcastle from a defensive point of view, though, screening and organising and being a protection for his centre-back partners.
I suppose it's easy when you look at the scoreline to credit the forward players with the key moments, but so much of it is built on what happens across the pitch, isn't it?
Absolutely. He's played like a veteran.
At Munda for Newcastle with the clearance that was blocked. Hearns not giving this one up. Made the defender play it and gets a throw out of it. Now Watts assessing his options. Munda drops in to collect. Now that could be a penalty for Newcastle, but the referee says no, as Sean Neve took a tumble. You can hear what the supporters think.
Seem to think otherwise.
That looked like a decent shout, but nothing given. And we're going to get the chance to review the incident. They're on the attack in the meantime through Hearns, who's kept the ball in play, Travis Hearns, and won a corner on this near right-hand side.
He wasn't last man, though, but it certainly was a foul.
Went over the defender. We'll maybe take another look at the penalty incident after the corner has been taken. Newcastle denied a penalty, but could still get one back here. It's a corner kick that's played a long way back to Charlton. He's got it out of his feet. Deflected shot. Hearns and Neve, and then Sanusi went for the Rabona style effort, which was blocked on its way through. And now it's a Bournemouth throw. Plenty to unpack.
Had it not
from
been
all of
blocked,
that.
not sure how much pace that would have had on.
And he clearly likes the spectacular Treven Sanusi, but here's another look at that shot. Might have been going across goal into the bottom right corner. And with 7 minutes to go, Bournemouth have a free kick far side. And Clock keeps ticking towards 90, and the end of a tough night for Newcastle's under-18s.
Either way, great experience. They've played at St James's Park in a cup game. No doubt they would have been nervous going into the game, and anything that brings on nerves, it's character building.
Emerson's won it back. Munda with a trip, couldn't gather the ball and committed a foul. Bournemouth have a player down on the edge of the area, so the whistle has gone. There's going to be a change, and it's the captain who's down, Ollie Morgan. He's going to be replaced by Ethan Sills. So they are making the substitution. They've also got Charlie Osborne, midfielder, changing his boots by the side of the field. Just while we have the break in play, Charlotte Potts, just want to touch again on Newcastle United women. The incredible unbeaten run, which was almost 400 days across a couple of campaigns, ended at the weekend in the FA Cup, but having gone professional in the summer, top of your league, 5 points clear, it's been another season of real progress so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of progress, and like we transitioned from part-time to full-time, which meant a lot of our dreams came true in becoming a professional footballer, and you really seen the gratification for all of the sacrifices and hard work that we've done previously. And like you say, that unbeaten run in any league isn't easy. It requires a real mindset, as well as performing on the pitch. You have to live in the moment. You have to prepare for each game step by step. You can't afford to think too far ahead. You can't dwell on the past. You can't overanalyze games. You've got to move on quick. And we've got Becky who drives that, and she's excellent in ensuring we're all on it each week. We've got a real disciplined group in that sense, and it's showing that we're being consistent with it. And
ever-increasing levels of support as well, because the crowds you get at Kingston Park for the third tier, the level you're at, are absolutely fantastic, aren't they?
Phenomenal, and we seen and heard the crowd against Manchester United, and you know that was a WSL team we played, and they even recognised that the level of support that we brought to that match. And
this is Neve in the box. The ball's come to Hearns and then laid back and just wide, driven just wide. Newcastle with, well, a decent opportunity. Leo Shaha.
He certainly won't no impress tonight, isn't he?
He struck it right-footed, and the corner was there to be hit. Goalkeeper, I don't think, would have got across, just narrowly off target, with Neve and Hearns involved in the build-up.
Yeah.
Forcing the error from the Bournemouth play out from the back. Hearns to Emerson, goes for the return. Shaha, no space to shoot. Munda here, trying to find a way through. That's a driven effort from Scott Bailey, held at the near post by Mac Allen. In the meantime, Bournemouth made another change. Johnny Day, wearing number 18, came on for Remy Rees-Dottin on the far side of the attack. Well defended by Logan Watts, who came on at half-time. Is one of the younger players in the Newcastle academy group. He's a year one scholar, still just 16. I think he's stood up pretty well to the challenge at centre-back.
There's a lot of physical lads out there. We were just talking about at half-time how we were adapting to full-time, and I'm sure a lot of these scholars are adapting to that also. They'll be getting stronger day by day, and sometimes, though, it takes time. The progress that you make, you're not going to see the results instantly.
Last couple of minutes and a final chance for Newcastle to get one back. Sanusi, who'd love a goal, Watts with another challenge. Seems to relish the physical side up against the hat-trick hero for Bournemouth, Johnny Stuttle. There's a couple that he's put in on him. Emerson for United, but it went out.
Yeah, and you know, you've seen that challenge there. It got the crowd going. It's 5-0. We were in this situation on Sunday. It's really hard to stay focused, stay disciplined, and still stay positive. And that crowd really helps you with that. You've got to use moments like that as a player to find ways to boost them up.
Hearns with a throw with less than a minute remaining. The fourth official's got hold of the numbers board. Might do Newcastle a favour if they don't put anything on it. Shaha to Munda. Emerson's free on the near side. Takes it on his chest. Kept in by Newcastle but cleared. And we are going to play on for an additional 4 minutes. Minimum of 4 minutes. Sam Ross displays the numbers board.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes out.
Neve.
Minimum of 4 minutes.
Black and white bodies in the box. Sanusi, that's kind of between Hearns and Munda. There's a Bournemouth player down on the deck, slowly picking himself up as the ball goes forwards, but might require treatment as we play on. And now the ball is out. Looks like it's cramp.
Or is it tactical?
The whistle's gone here in added on time.
There's a couple of players down. This is where you're seeing Newcastle come to life a little bit now. Bournemouth are tiring. You're seeing the real physical advantage of Newcastle.
Well, just playing out the last couple of minutes in additional time. On what's been Charlotte Potts a tough night overall.
A very tough night. A lot more positive in the second half, but like I said earlier, there's a lot of lessons for these lads to take moving into their careers. Anything to make them grow.
And how much credit do you give Bournemouth for the way they've played and taken their chances?
You know, you've seen a player there go down with cramp. There was another player down. They've put everything into that first half to take the game into their hands, and they've defended with bodies and numbers, and they've stayed organised, and they've attacked on the counter, and they've been really clinical. I think a lot of credit needs to go to Bournemouth for this game.
Maybe one last attack. Dangerous ball driven in, but too close to the goalkeeper.
Bournemouth certainly looking exhausted now, though. Newcastle seem to have more life in them in this half.
That's a good turn by Leo Shaha, who's impressed since coming on in the second half. Hearns, he's had his moments tonight, can't find a way through. Ash Clark, a long time ago, got us started with that goal inside the opening 60 seconds. But his attack for Bournemouth leads only to a Newcastle free kick. We are beyond the 4 minutes. It is a minimum, and we have had a stoppage in the additional time period. Still attacking Newcastle in the final seconds. Fired across goal. Neve looking for the bottom corner. Couldn't get that one on target.
There's been a lot of standout performances by Newcastle individuals, but talking from a collective point of view, I definitely think Bournemouth have been far superior collectively.
And when the ball goes forwards, that might be it. It's a competition, the FA Youth Cup. Newcastle have won twice in their history. The last was in 1985. The class of 2024 won't be emulating that team this season. Bournemouth are going to be going through after a big win at St James's Park, but still we play on into a 6th minute of additional time. Emerson's cross, goalkeeper scrambling, and last touch was off the defender. That must be a corner. And looks like they'll get time to take it as well.
Come on, get the bodies up. I want to see the goalkeeper up. Might as well.
Surely going to be their last opportunity for one back. Munda's ball in. Hearns on the chest. Well, they were under pressure. But no time for Bournemouth to go on another attack. Their job was done really in the first half with those 4 goals. The first in the opening minute. And then as Newcastle got into the game, they broke, got a second. And it was always going to be a long way back for Newcastle, who conceded twice more, including once from the penalty spot before half-time. And then another goal came in for Bournemouth 5 minutes into the second half from Johnny Stuttle, their centre-forward, who got a hat-trick this evening. And Charlotte Potts, Newcastle's under-18s, are going out of the FA Youth Cup beaten 5-0, and lots of lessons for them to learn, as you've been saying, from tonight's match.
Yeah, as a young player you go in and I'm sure they'll have opportunities to analyse that game. They could go over and over so many different points, but it's how these players take that. And I was just discussing with a teammate today about your approach to wanting to take feedback, and unfortunately you have to be resilient. You can't take things too personally. You have to really be constructive and take constructive criticism well, because ultimately that's the only way to improve. You can't have things given to you positively all the time. You've got to look on what needs to be better, and there's opportunities for them to do that tonight.
Charlotte Potts, thanks very much for being with us. We've enjoyed your insight on the commentary, and you've got a match on Sunday, haven't you, the women's team?
We have.
Nottingham Forest, 2 o'clock, Kingston Park. I'm sure you'd love as much support as you can possibly get.
Absolutely, let's keep this support up, because it'll really help us push over that line for promotion.
We wish you all the best at the weekend, and thanks again for joining us on NUFC TV tonight. We hope, despite the result, from a Newcastle United perspective, you enjoyed the coverage. But this FA Youth Cup 4th round tie at St James's has gone the way of the visitors. A big win for Bournemouth, who have beaten Newcastle United on Tyneside by 5 goals to 0.